welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog. Today is episode 62 and it's the 25th of June 2020. Welcome if you're a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you for joining me today. This is not going to be the normal format. I am going, hold on a minute. Oh, it's going so well, my chair was going down. Right, so today's not going to be the normal format. I am rapidly recording on a Thursday. This is going to be very quick because my weekend got hijacked this weekend, and the day I'm normally podcast, I've now got to go and do something. Now, I did sort of warn you that there was going to be a week that I was going to miss. It was supposed to be next week. It's got moved to this week. I thought rather than not record at all and just sort of disappear on you, I'd just do something really quick. I haven't done a full project, so there are days missing, so I'm not going to go through the days. If you are a new viewer, and thank you for joining me, please go check last week's to get an idea of what this is normally looking like. So I've got a few projects and I've got a special guest hopefully a bit later. Yeah, so let's get into it. Admin. The podcast has a Ravelry group. If you search scr1tno Knitting Project on Ravelry, you should find us. It's a lovely community, lots of chatter going on. We have 3 knit-alongs going on. We have got the main Mini Madness, which finishes on the 30th of June. So if you're near completion with your mini projects, please pop them in the FO thread. We have got the check-in for our square a day cowl, which is where we're all knitting a square a day or crocheting a stripe on a granny blanket each day, and the check-in is for 182, I believe, at the end of June. So I have, I think, opened a thread for that. I think I did. I'd like to say I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry, I forgot. I would double check that. And then we've got a jumper cowl, which is going on till the end of the year, till December, where we're knitting a garment, or more than one. I mean, if you can knit more than one jumper, then please do. Our lovely moderator Katie is knitting the Harvest cardigan. I've seen a couple of progress pictures and she's doing really well. So it's her first garment. I'm absolutely blown away that she's attempting it. So looking forward to seeing that in the finished object thread there, Katie. I am not going to answer questions today just because it's not that long ago since I recorded, so I haven't got that many comments on my last video, but I will answer any comments on that one and this one on next week's, if that's okay, if you'll bear with me. It's also extremely hot here today. It's the hottest day of the year so far, so I want to get this recorded before it really gets hot. I mean, it's hot enough, to be fair, now. And also I'm trying to do it before I start work. So that's another factor. So I'm sorry you're going to get background noise. It's going to be disjointed and it's not going to be as polished as normal. And I'm downstairs today because recording in the craft room was not going to happen. It's really hot up there. So shall I start showing some bits? So I haven't got any socks because I didn't get round to doing the socks. The other wrinkle we had was the little baby that we were expecting, that was due in July, has put in an appearance early, bless her. So, and yeah, and it's a little girl. So I'm going to be knitting, rapidly finishing the baby stuff. Hubby just glaring at me there. Yeah, I'm rapidly finishing the baby stuff so that I've got a little package to go for her. So I've gone off project to get that finished as well. So it's all over the place today. But let's start. I'm just going to, I think, grab and go, to be honest. Maybe not that one because that's embroidery. We'll do that one in a bit. So first up in random orders of showing projects is my sweater. So it's my garment, and that's hanging out in my It's So Beautiful by Nicola bag, and it is the Whitmore by Amy Loudon, and this is a top down lace yoke sweater which I'm doing in DK, and I am using Dusty Dimples in her Harmony and her Bliss colourway, but I can't remember which is which. So at the moment I am alternating these 2 skeins. And this is the jumper. I apologise for any background noise you can hear. My family are around. Right, so this is the jumper. I am currently working on the sleeve. Now I was where the little progress keeper was, there we go, that's it, last week. And I've managed to do that much on the sleeves, so not a huge amount, but I have made some progress, and you can see how the yarn is fading in. And I'm beginning to decrease on the sleeves now. I keep trying it on because I can actually get it on because it's on the 2 circulars, and I'm decreasing so that I can get my sleeve length I want. So I've gone off the pattern on this bit. Oh yeah, I love this. Can't wait to get this finished, although of course today is the last thing you're going to need is a DK weight sweater, but it's very pretty. It is, I have to say, all this lovely weather is making me want to knit a fingering weight sweater, but no, I need to get some of these things finished. So this is my Whitmore by Amy Loudon. And that's, yeah, that's my current garment. It's really throwing me not being saying then that's day 3 garment day. Yeah, it might be day 3 garment day, but that's not how it's working in this podcast. It's going to be a bit of a train wreck of a podcast this week. I'm sorry, guys. No, normal service will resume, not next week, but the week after. But we'll talk about that in the section at the end. So that is my garment. Oop. Do you know what? Next up is my cozy memory blanket, just because it keeps falling off and I need to show it. So this is my cozy memory blanket. I don't need to show, I'd like to show it. I am currently just picked up for another square, but that was a random extra square, so I'm still on track for my 82 squares. And this is this week's. So this is right, okay, so that is from the blanket box by Really Goodness, as is that one. Then that is Sherry Iris's A Study in Bluebells from the socks I finished last week. That is Craft House Magic from her, in fact all 3 of these are Craft House Magic from her mini set number 4, which has been in my Northeasterly, and I'm now popping in my blanket. And the one I'm using today, I believe, is also, no, the one I'm using today is a Lay Family yarn, but there's not much to show, so I'll show that next week. So that's what I've done this week, the ones with the stitch markers on. I would go through my stitch markers, but it's so long ago now I can't remember which ones they are, other than I know the bird is So Sweet Violet and the piece of cake was Lay Family yarn. But that's it. Oh, and I think that one was Down Sheepy Lane, and that one was So Sweet Violet. So I can remember a few of them. So yeah, that's my cozy memory blanket, and it's getting really big now. I am 2 squares off squaring off again. So once I've squared off again, I will do another squared off video for it. And that is hanging out in my busy pottering bag. So that's my cozy memory blanket. Next up is my Northeasterly, and that is hanging out in a bag that I got from Kelly for my birthday, which is Ginny Makes bag, well, bucket. And this is the Northeasterly, which is a pattern by Skenanigans, and I am currently using my Spring Fling mini set from Lay Family yarn. And these are the 3 minis I have left from that set to put in. Really pretty. I think Kelly's retired this set for now because it's no longer spring, which makes sense. And this is where I got to on this. So I was where the little chicken is. That's from Really Goodness, the chicken. And these are all the Spring Fling minis. So there's that one, so that was there, that one, that one, that one, and I'm just on that one now. I did quite a bit for this actually. So this is how it's looking. And I'm trying to keep to lighter colours for this. but that pink is a bit bright. I was thinking of that the pink, the blue and the green were too bright, but then I remembered I had that blue and that yellow. I was like, oh, actually that might balance it out a little bit. So I'm not too worried. It looks quite good all together. I might have to start taking video of this actually each time I finish a strip. So what I'm doing is I've got the ends of it on a cable with stoppers on each side so that I can increase the length when I'm happy with the width. So I want to do the width first and then I'll increase the length. I have left enough to cast off should I want to, but that is the idea. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm on my 5th strip. I want to put in West Green Loft yarns, Elderflower stitches, Woody Goodness and Giddy yarns. So I think once I've got all those in, I'm going to see how wide it is and then possibly make it double. So start again from Sherry Iris and then do Sherry Iris Hedgerow, Down Sheepy Lane. My Down Sheepy Lane one I may have to, oh, and I want to do a random one as well because I've got some really pretty random minis. So what I might do is when I finish doing all these, do that like as the middle one, and just do random minis. But I may need to get some more Down Sheepy Lane minis because I don't know whether, I have got quite a lot from a while ago, but whether they're going to be light enough or not, I don't know. So I am keeping an eye out on Debbie's feed to see whether I can pick up some more lighter shade ones. But yeah, I do like this. It's such a soothing knit as well. But yeah, so that's the Northeasterly by Skinanigans and Lay Family Yarn. This is all over the place, isn't it? It's a bit of the blanket section, to be honest, because the next one is my Christmas blanket. Now I am crocheting a Christmas blanket using various Christmas themed minis. Now this is the bit you saw last week. That was my bit I did last week. And then this week I went into this section, which is a, so this was a 3 and 3, so 3 of the pattern, 3 of the plain. This is a 4 and 4. It was supposed to be 4 patterned and 4 plain, but the blue turned out more patterned than it looked. But actually I don't dislike it. I thought that looked quite nice, which has given me hope because I have far more patterned ones than I do plain. So I am thinking, well, as long as I do alternates, it doesn't look horrendous. And then I'm just going into this very crazy one on the end there. This is Leading Men Fibre Arts from a row 1 set that I did for a while until I realised it was way too expensive for me to do it. And then my plainer one to go with that is going to be this, which is Sugar Plum, also by, oh no, this one's Forest Fibre Arts, that one. Oh, was the other one Forest Fibre Arts then? Did I keep the bowl band? Have I done a Megan? Yes. No, that is definitely Leading Men Fibre Arts, that one. So that's that one. And then that is the Forest Fibre Arts one. And then I've caked up the grey that I'm going to use in between because I'm running out of my little, that 20 gram, that's done a lot. But I'm running out of that, so I've caked up my Yantan Tethereth one, which I'm going to use. It's just so soft, it's almost a shame to use it for this. It's so soft. That's Silver Bells and is a, I can't remember, something mix. Right, so I'm doing a granny cluster, so a granny square, and I'm doing it in 5, I think, 5 rounds, that's the word I was looking for, and I'm just turning it each time I finish a round. And yeah, I really like them, they're really cute. I'm using a 3mm clover crochet hook. And yeah, eventually this is just going to be a Christmas blanket that will come out just at Christmas, so it'll be very special if I ever get to finish it. We all know how good I am at finishing blankets. I did sort of have a stock take of, I was updating my Ravelry projects and looking at how many outstanding whips I've got, and how many of those outstanding whips I've got are blankets. I was like, I really need to get some of these blankets finished. So that is my Christmas blanket, and that's hanging out in my fondant fibre project bag. So next up is my Habitation throw, and that's hanging out in a So Sweet Violet bag. And oh, in here, this is the Habitation throw by Curious Handmade, which is part of Knit Event 2019, and it's a great way of using up mini sets. Of Advent mini sets. I am using my Advent from Les Family Yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I am here we go. Oh, that way round. So I've got where that little donut is, and that is a donut which is from Crafters Balm, which is a company that Laura from the Lonely Knitter podcast has, and that's how far I got. I was trying really hard to finish this this mini, but just couldn't get that one done. So not a huge amount of progress, but I love these blues. I really like that blue. That blue is so pretty. And yeah, so that's getting quite a big side now, and that's the other side of it. Again, when this is finished, I'll do a video of this finished. It's really difficult to show on the podcast now because it's getting quite big. Maybe when I get these blankets finished, when I'm back up in the craft room, I should use them each as a backdrop for one of the podcasts so you can see it. Oh dear. Not that I'm going to be recording up in the craft room in this weather, because it's like an oven up there, and I'm keeping the blinds shut so that the sun doesn't fade my yarn that's up there, so it's dark as well. So yeah, we've got Habitation throw. I love it. So that's one I may get finished because I'm on mini 17 I think now, so hopefully that one might actually get done. You never know your luck. I may finish that one, then I've got another one to do pretty much straight away. Shocker. So that's my Habitation throw. So last on the knitting is my baby knits, and this is a bag by Rachel, So Remy, and I have got a little finished object and a few other bits to show you. So I have finished the little tank top I was making from this book. So I am doing a little tank top. It's from the Ultimate Book of Baby Knits, which is by Debbie Bliss, and I absolutely adore. And I was doing that little tank top there, which, as you can see, has got plain arm edging there. Well, because the baby has arrived and we know the little girl, I hadn't finished the arm edging, so that's the tank top, and then I did a picot bind off on it, so it's a really pretty little frilly little top. And now I'm going to crack out my pink speckled yarn and possibly make another one of these in pink speckles, because I think this is really pretty. It's going to have a little button on the back. I need to rummage through my button, which it's under that one there. Down there is where my sewing box is, and I need to rummage through my button tin to find a little button for it. But I finished that one last night, and as I said, I want to do her another one, but in some kind of speckled yarn. And I am currently working on, and nearly finished, the sleeve for my garter edge cardigan, which, if you remember, I ran out of yarn for and had to order some more yarn.
So that's the garter edge cardigan. I need to put the neckband on this too. And it's really cute little cardigan. And that is from, where did I put it? It's still in the thingy. This is from the Baby Knit for Beginners book, also by Debbie Bliss. I love Debbie Bliss baby patterns. And it's, hold on, I'll show you the picture. There we go. That's the picture. Now I am doing buttons, but I'm doing fake buttons. I'm going to sew the buttons on, but I'm going to put poppers behind them and do it as poppers, because as a mum of 3 baby girls, buttons drive you nuts. So I thought I'll just put the buttons down the front so it's decorated with buttons, but I'll put poppers underneath because that makes life so much easier. And saves me having to do buttonholes, if I'm honest. So I am going to popper that. I'm going to put a button on the other one because it's a new one button, but this one I'm going to do some fake buttons. I've got some really pretty wooden buttons coming to use for fake buttons. So that's Debbie Bliss Baby Knits for Beginners, which is a lovely book. But I have to say, out of the 2, this is my favourite. I love this. This is quite a hefty volume, I have to admit. It is quite big. The only problem with Debbie Bliss is that she obviously uses her own yarn, which is the Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmerino. Now, if you've ever knit with Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmerino, it's more of a sport weight than it is fingering. So substituting fingering for her patterns is a bit of a pain. So what I thought I might do, bearing in mind I have got a finished object in this, is I'm going to knit a couple of sizes bigger in fingering weight, and see what the difference is size wise. So basically I'm going to use this as a swatch and then knit another one and use that as a swatch, and then hopefully I can gauge what I need to do to get which size in fingering weight. But yeah, I'm so pleased with this. It's such a lovely little pattern. It's so pretty. I can see me knitting tons of these for babies. I really like that. So yeah, so I'm going to get some speckled yarn out today, and I am going to cast that on. So that is the end of the knitting. I have some crochet, not some crochet, I've shown you my crochet, some embroidery to show you. I'll get onto that in a minute. So next up, I've got some embroidery, thanks to the lovely Brendy, who has given me so many tips. Brendy, thank you so much for the tip on not washing jelly rolls. So if you saw last week's podcast, I was debating about washing the jelly roll strips I'd got for my quilt, which I'll show you in a minute. She said to not do it because they fray, and that she'd learnt that the hard way. So thank you very much for passing that on, and I'm passing it on to you lot. But yeah, that's from Brendy, and yeah, great news. I had just one thing less I had to do, so that was cool. So this is my embroidery. This is a sampler from the Stitchery, and thanks to Brendy, she told me about how we do the buttonhole stitch, and you can't really see it, but I have done a couple. There we go. That one and that one. It does worry me that these get smaller and I struggle to do the big ones, but we will see. I mean, it looks better on the back. You can see it clearer on the back. These lovely little kind of spokes. But it has got the edge round it as well. It doesn't help that I use really pale yarn, does it? Is that focusing? And it's not the neatest job. And I did a French knot in the middle to hide the middle bit. It's not the neatest job, but I'm learning. That's the whole point of this. So this is the because if you look, my open fly stitches get better as they go along, and this definitely did. The long and the short stitch definitely got better as I went along, and that's the whole point of doing this, is to learn these stitches. So if they're not spectacularly brilliant, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm still going to frame it, and I'm still going to put it on the wall. And I love my cow parsley, which is down the side there, which is part of the stitch along from Sherry Iris. And yeah, and I love this. I love working on it. I just need some time, but more about that coming up. Don't go off in a tangent, Sharon. Stop the tangents. Right, so that's my embroidery, and that is living in my lovely bag that I got part of Yarn Wishes Granted. I don't know who made this bag. If you happen to watch me and it was you, because I got it through the lovely Kelly of Lay Family Yarn, let me know, because I love this bag. It's so perfect for keeping my embroidery in. Literally the perfect bag. So last up is my quilting, and that's hanging out in my little suitcase here. And I've got some, I ordered some hexes off of Etsy, and this is from the Sewing Hutch, and these are Liberty Fibre fabric ones, I believe. And I think I had another set. I do. Here we go, that's the other set. Because that's cool. I've also cut up an old bottom sheet which I'm using to make my hexes, and that's what that's coming out like, just a plain one. And I have a little pile of hexes, and then these ones are the ones that are coming out of the fabric. I'm finding these quite fiddly because there's not an awful lot of fabric around the back there, which it's fine, I understand, because you don't want to waste fabric, but they're a bit more fiddly to based onto the card. Now I am stitching mine just because I enjoy the stitching part of it, if I'm honest, rather than gluing it. I'm not a great fan of gluing anything, so I'd much prefer to stitch it. And they're really pretty. I think these are all the same. Yeah, these are all the same fabric. So I'm grabbing this, and this is part of the Stolen Moments cowl that I'm doing, which is run by Kelly of Lay Family Yarn, which is all about grabbing something to do in those stolen moments. And then in this one, which is my Homebird Makes bucket, I have got all the fabric and jelly rolls that I showed you last week for, there we go, for the smaller hexagons. And these are going to be, this is going to be a cushion cover to go with the bed quilt, this main quilt. I have got a slight problem because I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to put the wadding in it and back it or edge it. So that's going to be interesting. I may need some help at that point, but for the moment we're not there yet, so I'm not going to worry about that for a little while, and hopefully by then I may have even learned how to do it. Right, so meet the guest. This is Megan, my daughter. You've seen Megan. She has appeared, if you're a new viewer, she has appeared on the podcast before. She's actually hosted a vlog for me when I was sick, and she's often on my vlogs. And now, as my long-term viewers will know, I have 3 daughters, and none of them knit, which was always a slight disappointment to me. But this weekend just gone, 2 of them decided they wanted to learn, which is amazing. Now I'm never going to get my other one on. It's my middle daughter Charlie, bless her. There's no way she'll do it this, but Meg has agreed to pop on and talk about her knitting. So first of all, would you like to show off your project bag, the bag that it's housed in?
Yeah, sure. I can't remember who it is.
It's Sherry Iris.
I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it and be the wrong person.
Yeah, it's a Sherry Iris hand embroidered bag. I think it might be my first Sherry Iris bag. Might not be. And what are you knitting?
I'm knitting a pair of socks. And again, I'm not going to say the yarn because I don't remember who it is.
Have you got your wool band in your bag?
No.
No, we didn't keep the wool band. It's Giddy Yarns, and I think it was Hydrangea was the colourway. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
And I've taught Meg basically to do it the same way as I do it, which is on 2 circulars. I mean, you know, you're going to teach someone, you teach them what you know and how to do it. And I was originally going to teach them how to do a heel flap, but having chatted to a couple of people, they've sort of mentioned just let them do a tube, and then I can do an afterthought heel for them to start off with, which is a really great idea. So they're going to do a tube and then do a toe. and then I'll put the afterthought heel in for them. So here we go, show your knitting. We have a few extra stitches, we have a few two less stitches, and we've had to be repeat.
Yeah, I think I've currently got 33 on each side when I need 30 on each side. At least I'm consistent. And I have a hole.
You do have a hole. That's where you've got one of your. That's where one of your extra stitches has come. Now, can you see? That's a line of stitches there.
Yeah.
And that's a line of stitches there. What you've done is you've picked up the bar between the stitches and made another stitch.
Yeah.
Charlie's done the same, so you're going to have a design feature in your socks exactly the same. Yours is actually not too far down. I can probably fix that. Charlie's was she'd gone way past it, and when I laddered it down to pick it up, it just meant a huge ladder, so I picked it all back up again and went, yeah, you just got a hole in your sock. But yeah, you'll show it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's the hole. Yep, that's the hole. Yeah.
So we did a 1x1 rib at the top, which
Mum did.
I did for you, didn't I?
Because both me and Charlie were throwing hissy fits that we couldn't do it, so Mum did it.
We struggled with the pearls.
And just how like tight it was getting.
Yes.
And that was irritating us both. So.
But they have actually both gone flying on going round and round in circles and just in knit. So they've learned to knit in the round and do the knit stitch without any trouble whatsoever. And you're really enjoying it, aren't you?
Yeah, it was stressful at first, then it became therapeutic.
And of course, great self-striping yarn.
Yeah, I really like it. Reminds me of like ice cream.
Yeah. And also it means that you're eager to get onto the next colour each time.
Yes.
So like everything else,
I'm currently on purple. Yeah, I'm currently
you
on
are.
purple.
I'm guessing you're going into pink next because that's the one that's on top.
That would make logical sense.
Yes. So, but isn't that lovely? That's Giddy Yarns, and I think it's a hydrangea. Helen, apologies if that's wrong, but I don't know where the ball band's gone. I haven't taught us how to podcast properly yet. So hopefully, from time to time, we'll be able to persuade Meg to pop on and show off her knitting. Yes, now this is a little, no, this is a tip. As we've all done before, and I did whilst demonstrating this to the girls, which was hysterical, you accidentally knit with the tail. So what I've done is put a little progress keeper on it, and this is a little panda from Corner of Craft, onto the tail, so they know not to knit with this bit. If it's got the panda on it, don't knit with it. But yeah, I actually did that whilst demonstrating, so that was clever.
Yeah. No, I like the panda.
Yeah, he's cute.
Mhm.
Very cute. I don't know who your needle cozy is, I'll be honest. It doesn't say on it whose it is. But yeah, that's an Easter needle cozy. Little bunnies. But I have no idea whose that is. It's very pretty. If it's yours, let me know.
Yeah. I like it.
So yeah, I've got two of them that are knitting, and Charlie's absolutely flying on hers. She's got half the leg done. So what you're going to do now, because I've spoken to Charlie about it, I obviously haven't told you, is you keep knitting your tube till you want it's long enough on your leg, and if you put your foot in it, it goes up to where you want you put your toes in. So we'll then decrease, and I'll show you how to decrease to put your toe in, and then I will put the heel in for you. I will cut the knitting and put an afterthought heel in for you.
Okay.
So that way you can knit both your pairs of socks. I'll do the heel, which is the trickier bit. But to be honest, the trickiest bit is just cutting the knitting and picking up the stitches. Once you've done that, it's just knitting another toe as the heel. But first things first, we'll knit a tube and pop a toe on it first, because obviously you have got to knit two. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
As I said, hopefully Megs will pop on from time to time and join us. You're really not on the screen right now. It's just your shoulder. Oh, okay. So when I said this would never happen, never say never. There is a daughter beside me with her knitting.
Oh my ball.
This is Charlie. and she's using Twisted Limon in the African Violet colourway. And this is how much further she's got. Here we go. She's not coming on camera, bless her. Look, she's done so well.
To be fair, I haven't done any in about a day.
Are you confident you'll still be able to pick it up and carry on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Look.
How far have you got? You going to show yours? I've already shown one. Oh. Show me. Oh, I'm
So-
surprised you have. I haven't done it in a couple of days.
Yeah, but to be fair, Meg's done a.
It's basically the same as when you saw it last time.
And this is hanging out in a Narnia project bag, which I have to admit, when I ordered this, because I love Narnia, I did know that Charlie would end up with it at some way. I didn't expect it to have knitting in it, but I did think she'd end up with it. Because you love Narnia. Okay, thank you for sharing. Isn't that brilliant though? That's both my girls. Now, again, it's going to be a tube, and I'll put an afterthought heel in for her. So next up is Happy Mail, and both of these are clubs, so bear with me. One is one that I haven't had for a long while, but I saw the inspiration photo for this and fell in love with it, so I'm glad, and I'm so glad I did it because it's gorgeous. So this is West Green Loft Yarns, and this is her sock club that she does, and this was June, so if you haven't got June's, please look away. There we go. Look at that stitch marker, isn't that lovely? And that was the inspiration, was donuts, sugar donuts, and oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. So that's Vicky's lovely logo. And I'm really tempted to wind this up and do that little tank top in this, because I think it would be so pretty. And then anything I've got left over I will put in my many blankets that it would go in, but I love that. So that's that one. Right, so this is the Life of Birds sock club, and this is May's. So if you've not had the Sherry Iris Life of Birds sock club for May, please look away. If not, I'm going to show you because I love it. Isn't that pretty? I love that mini. That mini's gorgeous. Wow. So that's the inspiration. And I have got the print, so I will show you the print as well. I don't want to describe too much out loud just in case you haven't got it, but what I will say is this month's bird is one of my top favourite birds. I absolutely adore these. And we have one near us at the moment. This is the print, which is absolutely amazing. This is done by Sherry Sunquist. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, that's my acquisitions for this week. Slightly lighter on the ground than normal. So next up is my chat section, and I need to find a title for this that I haven't accidentally stolen from someone else. First of all, it was Tiffany from Woollen Homestead, and then I realised I'd actually managed to steal the one from Tracy of the Comfy Red Couch. So I think it might have to be called Bits and Pieces rather than Bits and Bobs, or just chatting, the chatty bit. Oh, that might be. Anybody else got the chatty bit? Because I've got the vloggy bit, so this can be the chatty bit. There we go, live on camera, it's going to be the chatty bit. Okay, so what is going on? I've rapidly recorded this today, so I'm sorry this is really not the professional quality that I normally like to put out, but it's a bit more of another vlog, more of a vlog than a pod. But I actually need to be working in a few minutes, so I have to get this done really rapidly, otherwise it wasn't going to get done at all. I do like to give you some notice if I'm not going to record, just because I don't want anybody worrying. I mean, it sounds really conceited to say I don't want people worrying about me, because, you know, why would you? But I do know that there's a couple of people that get a bit concerned if I don't put my podcast out on the day I say I will. So that yeah, that's why I decided I really would rather do a disjointed, more vloggy podcast than no podcast whatsoever. However, I do want to give you notice that I will not be recording next weekend. quite simply because I want a weekend off just to kind of catch up with a few jobs that I need to get caught up with, like tidying this lot up, because work's been busier than I was expecting it to be, and it's my year end at work, which if you work in finance you'll understand that that's actually quite a busy time. So I'm going to need next weekend as a break after that. So I'm going to have next weekend off vlogging, so there won't be off the podcast, so there won't be a podcast. I am, however, going to try and vlog some of the bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing next week. So although that won't be up any time with the schedule, I will throw it up when I get a chance, or it may even just go on the end of the following week's podcast. Also, I'm going to be off project because I want to get all the baby knits done so that we can get the baby knits across to our lovely friend who's had her baby. So that's that. So because I'm going to be off project, it means I won't have as much to show. So hopefully in 2 weeks' time, I won't have the baby knits necessarily because they will probably have gone. So I will try and photograph them before they go, and I can talk about them with the photos. So that's why I'm going to have a break next week. So there's nothing wrong other than it's my year end at work, which means I'm really busy, and I want to do some baby knitting, so I need some time to get that done. Yeah, and of course obviously the bigger news that I've got is the fact that 2 girls have started knitting, and yeah, having said I would never and ever get Charlie on camera, she then appeared. Bless her, which is great. I mean, yeah, fantastic. I'm so excited. I think they're actually sitting outside doing their knitting at the moment. Bless them. I'm quite envious because once I've got this wrapped up, I have got to edit this and work at the same time. So that's going to be fun because I don't edit on the same computer I work on. So I'm going to be switching between a Mac and a Windows PC. That'll be fun. I feel like I've kind of rushed this, so yeah, I really apologise. If you're a new viewer, this is not how it is normally. Please do go back and check another one. There's not going to be any whizzy titles or anything. I'm just going to throw this up. I'm sorry. I will edit it though because I've had so many interruptions. It's going to be hysterical. But yeah, hopefully this is better than nothing. Hope you don't mind. And yeah, more with what's going on this weekend. So tomorrow I'm going out with hubby. So normally I would record normally I record on Thursday, and I need to get back into sorting that out, and I need to get up on it earlier on a Thursday and get that done. So I need to get myself into a bit of a routine with that. But normally, so tomorrow I'm going out with hubby, which is when I would normally record on Friday. And then if I can't record on Friday, my backup is Saturday, and I'm actually out on Saturday with my daughter, my eldest daughter. So I suddenly looked at it and went, well, now I have no time to record and edit before Sunday, and I like to keep it to the Sunday schedule if I can. So this was the weekend I was saying, I'm not going to be able to put out a podcast. Yeah. Now, what actually happened was originally I was supposed to be going out with my daughter on next Saturday on the 4th, but that plan changed, and it changed in the wrong direction. So I had less notice. So I thought, well, rather than it all going, me suddenly disappearing, I would do this, and hopefully this is okay and you haven't minded how rushed it is, and then I will have next weekend off, as I was always planning to do, to catch up a little bit and catch my breath, and then back to normal hopefully the following week, where I will try and get back into my routine of recording on a Thursday. We will see how that goes. Right, hopefully I've got a little bit of a vlog to put at the end of this. I did do a couple of recordings of a couple of my journals, so I'm hoping that's worked, and if it has, you'll get it. If it hasn't, then I'm sorry, I will redo it. And so that hopefully will go on the end of this. And there'll be some video, I think, of my girls learning to knit on Saturday. I mean, there's no sound because they're teenage girls. They're not even teenage girls, they're early 20 girls now. And the language went a little bit south occasionally. So hopefully there's some of those bits. I don't think I've got a cat being a meerkat this week, but I've just been sent a lovely photo from a lovely viewer. So thank you for that, Erin, because that really has made me and Meg absolutely giggle, of her cat saying hi to my cat on the TV screen. It's cool. Right, I'm gonna go. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I won't see you next week. I will see you the week after. So Meg has spent the afternoon learning how to cast on. She knew how to knit already, so knitting didn't take too much of a problem. But we're making a sock. How's it going, Meg?
Good. Oh wow, you couldn't be any closer to my face if you tried.
Sorry, I'm trying to actually close up on your hands. And then we're just using this lovely yarn, which is the Hydrangea colourway from Kitty Knits. And she's into the green. And as much as this is making me really, really happy, I've got happiness times 2, because there is another one out. Oh, there's the dog. There is another one out here. It's also knitting. Look at this. Good morning, folks. So I thought what I would try to do this week is share some of my journals with you. I was going to do it as a standalone. I may still do it as a standalone, but at the moment my thoughts are to put it on the end of the podcast. So I'm going to start with this one. This is my daily one. Basically it's a tracker, so bear with me a moment. I'm going to turn you around, hopefully not making you feel sick. So I am tracking whether I fill in my tracker, which journal I'm doing. So that's a little drop of happiness, that's my journal, that's my line a day, which I do every night. That's how many steps I've done. So my goal at the moment is 3,000, because I'm trying to build up my stamina gently. It goes to 3,500 on Monday. This is how many on Fitbit you have a 250 steps per hour goal. And this is how many times I've hit it. So yesterday I did really badly and only did 2 out of 8, but that's because I did the podcast, so I was sitting down a lot. That day, there we go, I got 8 out of 8. This one is whether I got outside. I didn't yesterday, and that's whether I went for a walk. I didn't yesterday. I've done really badly going for a walk this month. That is updating Ravelry, so I updated Ravelry yesterday. That's embroidery. That one is whether I'm on project or not, which I am at the moment. That one is whether I've watered the garden. Well, I haven't needed to recently because it's getting watered naturally. This one is my mood. So the darker colour is whether I'm happy, and this lighter colour at the moment is tired. I've also got sad and worried, but I haven't had to use that this week. And this is whether I've spent money or not. So one colour's for yes and the other colour's for no, and you can guess which way around that is. So that's what I'm doing in my tracker, and I'm using these fab pens, which the lovely Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast recommended, and they are brilliant. I just got them off of Amazon, and I've got 3 packs. And these are what I use on a daily basis. So I try and do this each morning. Sometimes it's later than others, and yeah, I've just done that. So that's that one. I just got this off of Amazon. It's called the Morning Sidekick Journal, and it's just blank. You put up there the month and the year and what your goals are, and then it's got numbers down the side for the days of the month. So yeah, so I've done it for a couple of months. That was a fairly full month. I didn't do very well that month. That was, I think, that was April. Not quite sure why I didn't do very well, but I didn't do very well that month. And my other one, this is my little drop of happiness journal. And this is from Carol's Recrafted Boutique. You saw me show this on the podcast. And basically what I'm doing is I am writing down anything that's making me happy. I'm numbering it because these are all sort of hidden in different places. So this is number 1. And if you turn it over on the back, there is a picture of my girlies and my dog. That's during the lockdown. And then, this is not in order of preference, by the way. This is just in order of which I've done it. And then this is number 2. And that's me and Ian at the seaside, I think. In Ireland. Quite a few favourite things there. Sea, you know, island. And I'm not going to show you through it all, but you'll get the general idea. So that's an explanation about it and why I did it. That's Puppy. Kate and Dan. Crafting. All sorts of different things. The cat. The other cat. I think there might be a third cat in here somewhere. I think I managed to get the third cat. That's some lovely biscuits that Kate got me for my birthday. Again, that was a new craft. And this is Meg when she was very little. I used to dress up as a princess. And that's Charlie and Meg mucking about, and I think that must have been Meg's first day at school at St John's. That's my first ever bouquet from my garden, homegrown. That is my brother on his motorbike, and that again is a cat. So you get the idea, and these are the pages I'll be doing today. So the reason I've numbered them is these ones are straightforward because they're just pages, but once you get through the pages, like this for instance, we'll have one on the back as well. So hold on, if I can get that one out. It's got a tag in it. It's very difficult to do this one-handed, sorry. So that's got a tag in it. So because that's hidden, I would number that. So yeah, that's my little drop of happiness journal, and that's what I'm doing. So that's my one that I'm doing today. So I'm hopefully, if I can get myself organised, will show you what I will be doing tomorrow. Hello, so today's journal is my big junk journal, and at the moment I'm not doing special pages for it just because it's so huge now. I can't, I don't really want to add any more to it, if you get me. So let's just undo this. It's just a piece of thread I keep around. Ooh. And what I do is anything I want to put in it, like these, I trying to attach to it, and then I have some photos to put in. So I'm going to do the next lot of spreads, which is around here somewhere. Ooh. Keep going, keep going. As you can see, it's quite difficult now. So this is where I'm on at the moment, and I'm just sticking in the photos and writing. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. But this is basically my junk journal, and as you can see, it's quite full. So I'm just literally going to try and finish off these last few pages now. Because it's getting a bit too full now. I want to start a new one. So I'm just going to stick in today's photos, which are these ones. I have got my latest project. That one I have just noticed I've already put in there, so I will have to swap that for something else. That's what I'm obsessively watching at the moment. this is my two girls learning to knit, which really blew me away over the weekend. You probably have already seen a video of that, but so I'm going to put those in. I'm going to find another one, or not, as the case might be. I may just leave it with I write on the back which days that they're kind of did I write the back of that one? Maybe not. I think it's because these are all the 19th. I try and write on the back the day that they're supposed to go into the diary, basically. And because it's 4 days, I have 4 days worth to catch up. As I said, I'm not doing, make drew that. I'm not doing spreads at the moment just because it's way too full, and I'm just desperately trying to get it to the end. I haven't got too much more now. But yeah, so that's what I am going to be doing this morning.